I'm Alexandra Wettlaufer, Professor of French and Comparative Literature and Associate Director of Plan 2. With my Humanities Research Award, I'm working on a book entitled Reading George, Sand, Eliot, and the Novel in France and Britain 1830 to 1900. In it, I examine the complex relationship between Aurore Dupin Dudevant and Mary Ann Evans, better known to the world as George Sand and George Eliot. Perhaps the most influential women writers of the 19th century, Sand and Eliot were consistently compared to one another by critics and readers of their day. From book reviews to obituaries, the two were linked not only as popular female authors, both writing under the name George, but as avatars of the ethics and aesthetics of their respective nations. Yet despite these long-standing connections, surprisingly little critical attention has been focused in recent years on the textual relations between this pair of pseudonymous Georges. Sand is read and analyzed almost exclusively within the 19th century French literary tradition, and Eliot within the British. So what I wanted to do was to examine the transnational context in which their works were first produced and consumed, in order to come to a better understanding not only of their individual bodies of work, but also of the narrative form of the novel itself, which I believe was shaped by a dialectic conversation between France and Britain during this period. With HRI funding, I spent 2 months in Paris working in the archives at the Bibliothèque Nationale de France, followed by 2 months working in London at the British Library, reading 19th century manuscripts, newspapers, journals, correspondence, and essays that revealed even more intersections than I had originally realized. I discovered issues of the Revue des Deux Mondes that included a story by Sand and a review of one of Eliot's novels side by side. I found an early essay by Eliot on Goethe that included an unattributed quotation in French taken directly from Sand's novel Lucrezia Floriani, and nobody had figured out where this was from before. And I found correspondence between Sand and George Henry Lewis, who later became Eliot's life partner and helped launch her writing career. These discoveries not only helped solidify the connections between these two female authors, but also helped me understand the intercultural dialogue going on in France and Britain at the time regarding the construction of artistic identity, subjectivity, and the politics of reading across the borders of gender and nation. Perhaps most significantly, my research in Paris and London revealed the critical role that translation, cosmopolitanism, and a larger sense of human community played in the works of these two influential novelists who combined social engagement with narrative undecidability as they wrote at once as women and men, reconfiguring both the novel and the very act of reading in ways that remain influential in the 21st century.